Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel today. Thank you all of you out there who are subscribing to Traveling with Bruce, giving thumbs ups and comments, and those of you making donations through the PayPal link, which you'll find down below. At the moment, the ads that you see on my channel, I am not getting paid for those. There is some kind of a glitch in the YouTube system, and I'm not getting paid for any ads that you see. So we are surviving on donations through PayPal, and we thank you so very much for that. You are looking at some footage here, some computer-generated footage of what the new river cruise ship is going to look like for Viking. The Viking Line. These are the folks with the river boats in Europe and China and the ocean cruise ships in the oceans with 945 odd passengers. These guys are building, I believe, 2 of these ships and will be sailing the Mississippi, we hope, depending on COVID and everything else, in the next year or so going forward. I think they're going to be extremely successful. These ships look fantastic. The news out of Viking is that they have secured an additional $500 million of financing to carry them through all of 2021. They raised cash from 2 sources, TPG Capital, formerly Texas Pacific Group, and the Canadian Pension Fund. The citizens of Canada, through the pension fund, are funding Viking as well as thousands of other entities. Very diversified holdings. It's a long-term investment, and I'm sure it'll work out over the long haul. That's the news out of Viking. Good news for those guys. Here at Norwegian, there's news here. A couple of things going on. Norwegian just released their third quarter financials a couple of days ago. They posted a $3.5 billion loss in the first 9 months of the year. That includes the first 3 months of the year where they were sailing at 108% capacity. It was going to be a record year for Norwegian this year, but it all went to naught in, as we know, in March when everything got shut down. Norwegian has just also announced that they're going to do some test cruising with volunteers and probably a bunch of employees in January. They want to satisfy the CDC's health requirements and protocols, and they want to be able to pick up and drop off American passengers at American ports. And so they're going to need to do some test sailings in January with CDC officials on board. I'm sure they're working behind the scenes frantically to coordinate all that. And hopefully the sailings will work out and they'll get the green light from the CDC. But that could be February or March or who knows, because we're all watching the developments with respect to the new vaccine that might be coming out. But if the vaccine isn't available until at least second or third quarter of the year, we might not see sailing until the fall of next year. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later, and we can get going again. By the way, thank you again, everybody, for subscribing to this channel and hitting the thumbs up button, sending me comments. I really do appreciate it. Those of you who are making donations through the PayPal link, if you're making a $10 donation or more, I will send you one of these for sure. The Traveling with Bruce Creston Custom Postcard. Would love to mail one to you anywhere in the world. You let me know. Also, those of you who become sponsor members of Traveling with Bruce, you also get a postcard automatically. We do 2 sponsor shows just for sponsor members. One Mondays at 7 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And on Fridays, we play trivia. So join today and join in the fun. We have a good time. Now, over here at Carnival, got some news for you here. Carnival has announced that they want to raise $1.5 billion in fresh cash because they are burning about $600 million every 30 days just to keep their ships in cold storage around the world. Remember, they own and operate 9 different cruise lines, so they are splitting that $650 million up across their entire lines. That includes Cunard, P&O Australia, P&O in the UK, Costa Cruise Lines, of course, Carnival, Holland America, Princess, Seabourn, just a pile of cruise lines, and they are burning a lot of money. They need the $1.5 billion just to give them another 2.5 months of life. They give them 75 days of existence. That's all it is. They're probably going to raise this by selling stock at about $15 a share or so, maybe 16. They're going to issue almost 100 million shares, which will really dilute the existing shareholders, but that's the way it goes these days. They have raised a ton of money through bond sales. Now they've got to raise money through stock sales. Other news at Carnival, they have announced that all sailings 8 days or longer have been canceled until next November at the very earliest. So between now and November 2021, the only cruises that Carnival will have will be 7 days or less. And of course, this all depends on the restart date, how many ships will restart and when, and we'll follow that. It's going to be a while before all the Carnival ships are back up and sailing again, as we know. But that is the latest from Carnival. Now, here at Royal Caribbean, as we zoom in on this Royal Caribbean ship, got some news from RCL. The folks at Royal Caribbean are looking to start cruises in Alaska for 2021, and they have announced the 4 ships that they are going to deploy to Alaska. Of course, that assumes everything is up and running again. The 4 ships that they want to deploy will be the number one will be the Ovation of the Seas. You're going to see that one come into view right here in just a second. The Ovation of the Seas with that big arm on the top there and great views, and the flow rider. Quantum of the Seas, kind of a sister ship to this one. The Radiance of the Seas and the Serenade of the Seas. Those are the 4 ships that Royal Caribbean has earmarked for cruises to Alaska, so you can see views like this. We haven't had an Alaska cruise now by any of the majors. Well, there might have been a handful last year. I don't know if there really were, but bottom line, it's been 2019. 19 since the last time people went up here on mass. Alaska could sure use the business, but we have to wait to see how the virus works out. Canada has a no-sail order in the entire country, the East Coast and the West Coast. That is in effect now until the end of February. The COVID cases showing up in the U.S. right now are hitting record highs again, 120 to 130,000 cases a day. With those kinds of numbers, Canada will extend the shutdown if it doesn't get any better. Do not be surprised if these COVID numbers in the U.S. go higher or stay at this level, that Canada decides to go another 6 months, and that would effectively kill off the 2021 Alaska cruise season, along with cruises to the Canadian Maritimes. I know that the folks in Vancouver and Victoria and Nanaimo in the west, and in Halifax, St. John's, and Charlottetown, Quebec City, Montreal, over in the east, they're hoping like crazy that cruising comes back. They love having cruise passengers come in. But at the moment, no sailings in and out of Canada with these case numbers the way they are. By the way, Canada's had about 250,000 COVID cases so far. The United States is putting 125,000 cases up a day. So every 2 days, the United States matches the entire case count for Canada. Canada's 1/10 the population, and has nowhere near the number of virus cases, so it's pretty severe down in the States right now. We hope this gets better real soon. There you have it, folks. The folks here at Viking, they too want to sail like everybody else, and they have to do what the major cruise lines are doing through the public markets. These guys have to raise money in the private markets. But thankfully, because Viking's fleet, especially the ocean fleet that you're looking at here, is so young, they have no trouble getting maximum financing for these ships. And when these ships sail with 945 paying passengers, average age 65, they make a ton of money because the demographic that goes sailing on these Viking ships that have no inside rooms, all balcony, and with mostly all-inclusive pricing, they make a lot of money from these folks, and they have no trouble raising cash from investors because the investors know the minute Viking can start sailing again, the die-hard addicted cruisers from Viking will be there. And now with the Mississippi River cruising and expedition cruising to Antarctica and the Arctic, should be most interesting how this all comes together. Thanks again, everybody, for following my channel, subscribing to Traveling with Bruce, giving me thumbs ups. Thank you for supporting me on PayPal. I really can't emphasize enough how much we appreciate it. It is our number one source of funding right now. We are not being paid for any advertising that you see on our channel. And thank you for visiting my RedBubble store. Get yourself some TWB swag. The link is down below. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.